on our sit bones. So you can grab a block or you can prop your hip bones up on a blanket. And begin to get grounded on both sit bones. Gently tuck your chin into the chest a little bit. And then if it's comfortable to close your eyes. We'll begin with a grounding breathing meditation called box breathing. So while we're sitting here, you can have the palms face up to receive some energy. And then we'll begin to bring all of our awareness into our inhales and exhales. You're going to use your inhale and count to at least 4 seconds. So we'll start with box breathing using 4 seconds. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Now hold this breath for 3, 2, 1. Now we'll take an exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold your breath at the bottom 4 seconds. And then inhale. So this is your box. Inhale, pause, and exhale, pause. Try to find an amount of time that works for you. So if you're practicing holding your breath, maybe you can go all the way up to 8 seconds with box breathing. It's a practice, it's a technique that you can try every day. Increasing your awareness of your breath. Are you getting stuck on any places? Holding the inhales or the exhales? All right, so that's your box breathing. You can use that with any of the long poses, like if we're holding pigeon later, and you have a lot of time to really tune back into that breath work. And then we'll invite some movement into our body by just taking some neck circles. You can drop the chin to the chest, then moving your ear over to your shoulder. Drop your head behind you. And then drop the ear over to the other shoulder. Going at your own pace, feeling your neck. Using that ujjayi breathing now. So smooth inhales and exhales out of the nose, through the back of the throat, down to the lungs and into the belly. All right, and then if your hips were propped up for that box breathing, move the prop out from under you. We'll come to sitting on our seat bones. Maybe you change the cross of your legs, so now the other foot is on top. We'll inhale, sweep the hands overhead here, and then exhale, twist to the right. Let the left hand come to the right knee, right hand drops behind you. And every time you exhale, you twist a little deeper. Try and keep your spine straight, reaching with the top of your head towards the ceiling. And then we'll inhale back to center, bring the hands overhead, and exhale, twist to the left. Same thing, other side. Let your left hand drop behind you, right hand to the right knee. Inhale to create length in the spine, and then exhale, twist. Gaze goes over the left shoulder. All right, we'll slowly come back to center. We're gonna move into butterfly pose. So we'll take the insides of our feet together, plant them on the mat. You can take the insides of the feet, give yourself a little foot massage like you're opening a book. So you're kind of pulling the insides of your feet outwards. And then you're gonna forward fold over your feet here, hinging out the hips. You can walk the hands forward onto the floor. And also you can play with your feet placement in butterfly pose. You can have your heels close to the body for more of a hip opener, heels away from the body. You might feel it more in your low back. Let the chest fall forward. Let the head hang heavy. Just relaxing into butterfly pose. All right, gently lift the chest back up. We're gonna let the left leg fall to the mat. You're gonna grab your right shin and cradle it with both of your arms, rocking the shin a little bit side to side, getting into that hip on the right leg, down into the glute. So you can grab your shin however is most comfortable, and just bringing it close as you can to your chest. Let's try and be nice and tall through the spine still. And then we're gonna set the ankle down on the left knee and bend your left knee, plant the foot into the mat, moving into a deeper stretch of that glute. Now you're in a figure four. So what's fun about this pose is you can press your hands into the mat and your left foot. You can lift your hips up, move your hips forwards and backwards until you find a nice stretch. Maybe lower the hips back down to the floor. And then breathe into the glute. Or maybe you like that more of a fluid motion. Getting different angles of the same stretch. All right, we'll drop both of those legs back to the floor. Bend the knees a little bit, shake them out. Notice the sensations of the right leg as it's opening up. And then we'll do the same thing with the other side. Start to bring that left shin towards the body. Give yourself a little hug around that left shin. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit. Breathing into the hip. Breathing into the glute on that left side. Inhale to keep your spine nice and straight. And find a nice stretch in the left leg. We'll take that figure four stretch, so bend the right knee, plant the ankle on the top of the right knee. And you're in a seated figure four, so I like to press my hands into the mat, lift the hips. I like to shoot my hips closer to the heel. I feel a nice stretch there, but it'll be different for everyone, so play around with it. Listen to your body. Maybe even push that left hip a little, or the left knee a little bit away from you. All right, we're gonna drop with the feet to the mat and then roll over the knees, meet in tabletop position. So find that nice sturdy tabletop with the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and begin your cat-cow practice. Inhaling, gaze goes up, drop the belly. And then exhale, move from the tailbone up along the spine to the head for scared cat pose. Really arch the spine, press through your shoulder blades. And move at your own pace. Follow your inhales and exhales for cat-cow. It's a nice pose to even close the eyes. Bend into the elbows as you move through. Making it whatever your body needs. It's your yoga practice. All right, we're gonna keep our hips high to the sky here. Coming into a little bit of a puppy pose, we're gonna walk our hands forward, but then we're gonna take our hands over to the right. So we're gonna let the head come down to the mat, and you're gonna feel an intense stretch on the outside of the left shoulder. So you're not going all the way back to child's pose. Rather, your hips stay high, stacked over the knees. Breathe into the left side body, reaching the left fingertips over to the right. Let your head hang out wherever is comfortable. It might not be on the mat. Breathing into the left side body. Through the shoulders, through the rib cage, from the fingers to the hip. Gently walk the hands through center. Take the same stretch over to the left. Hands go over to the left. Your left hand's more for support. You're really reaching through the right fingertips over to the corner of the room. And then settle into this side body stretch on the right side. Breathe into the outside of the shoulder. Breathe into the rib cage, all the way back to that right hip. But keep those hips high, stacked over the knees. All right, we'll come back to center, stack right back into your tabletop position. And we're gonna take our left knee, bend the left knee, bring your leg out 90 degrees, and start to take some hip circles with the right leg. So keep that knee bent and then take hip circles both directions, big or small, maybe some cracks. My hip's always open here. Making your glute muscle do a little bit of work. And then we're gonna straighten that right leg, reach energy through your right heel to the back of the room, and then place your right foot all the way over to the left. Drop the toes to the floor, gaze goes over your left shoulder. Try and find your right foot. You're straight in that right leg. A side body stretch. Try and find the toes looking over your left shoulder. All right, well, we'll turn the right knee to meet the left, back in tabletop. One last thing, right side, we'll thread the needle. So inhale, sweep the right hand up to the sky, nice big open chest. Exhale, right hand goes under the left, reaching all the way to the left side of the room. Let the right arm come to the mat. Let your head come to the mat. You're in thread the needle. Breathe into the outer edge of that, outer side of that shoulder. Maybe you take a balancing pose by lifting the left leg, the inside leg for thread the needle into the air. Yogi's choice, totally optional. And then very slowly we'll move out of it, coming back to a nice stable tabletop. Set up, find that strong pose, core is engaged, and then when you're ready, same thing other side, we'll take that left leg out to the side and begin some hip circles. Go both directions. Where does it feel really good? As wide as you can. Keep the toes flexed towards the face to protect the knee. And then we'll shoot that right foot towards the back of the room, straighten into the left leg, and then drop the left foot all the way over to the right. Gaze goes over your right shoulder. Try and find that foot. Side body stretch, breathing into the leg, the hip, all the way up to the neck. Straighten into the left leg, shoot through the back of that heel. And then we come back to center, bringing the left knee back to meet the right. We'll press into the mat with the right hand. Inhale, sweep the left hand up to the sky, setting up to thread the needle. Exhale, left hand goes under the right. Reach those fingertips as far as you can over to the right. Let the head come down to the mat. Press the right hand into the mat in front of your face a little bit. to help push over that shoulder. And then yogi's choice, you can lift that right leg for a little bit of a balancing pose and thread the needle. It might take away from the stretch a little bit, but it's more to play with your balance. And then slowly, wherever you're at, returning back to tabletop position. All right, once you're in tabletop, tuck both toes this time, and then we'll hover our knees 2 inches off the mat. Just hover the knees, not getting into down dog quite yet. Working that core, shoulders begin to engage. Last breath here, and then you'll use your nice strong inhale to send the hips high to the sky for your first down dog of class. Walk the dog. So bend the left knee, drop it over to the right, breathing into the back of the right leg. And then doing the same thing with the right knee, drop it over to the left, breathe into the back of the left leg. Walking the dog, or maybe you just want to find stillness. Nice dirty down dogs. Press your fingers wide into the mat. Roll your shoulders and your armpits in to face each other just a little bit. As if you were already gonna kick up into a handstand. Where would your shoulders be the strongest? You want that same shoulder position in down dog as well. We'll bend the knees, and then on the bottom of your next exhale, look at the space between your hands and walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. We'll meet in ragdoll pose. So bend your knees really heavy, let your belly hang out on the thighs. You can grab your elbows, one elbow with each hand, let your head hang heavy. Sway side to side, releasing all the tension in your back. We're really getting into the low back with ragdoll. Maybe you shake out that head, yes and no. And then slowly we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let the head be the last thing to come up. Have your feet be about hips width distance apart. Roll those shoulders up to the ears and then let them fall down your back. Hands meet down by your side. Strong mountain pose. Getting ready for some standing sequences. We'll inhale, bring the hands overhead, fingertips to touch. Take these at your own pace. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shine my heart forward, fingertips to the floor or your shins. And then exhale, plant the hands, step back. You can take it through chaturanga or meet me in down dog. So option to modify your chaturanga as well. Maybe you lower to your knees, do your push up from there. Inhale, maybe cobra pose. And then exhale, down dog. Make it your vinyasa. All right, we'll inhale the right leg high to the sky, bend the knee. You're gonna drop the right foot in the air over to the left. If Wild Thing is in your practice today, you can flip the dog, right foot lands all the way over on the mat. Inhale, lift the hips, right hand goes to the back of or front of the room. If not, you're just hanging out in that three-legged down dog. All right, if you flip the dog, come back to your three-legged down dog, planting the right hand back on the mat. Keep that right foot lifted. And then your next exhale, your right knee is gonna come to your right elbow. Use your core. Inhale that leg back long behind you, high to the sky. Next exhale, knee comes to your chest. Don't drop the foot. Lift the knee even higher. And inhale that leg long. Nice job. Third exhale, we go across the body. Right knee, left elbow. Give it a little tap. Lift it even higher. Inhale that leg high to the sky. All right, fourth time, we bring the right foot to the front of the mat. Drop the foot. Let the back knee come down as well. And we'll meet in this low lunge. So breathe into the front of the left leg here. You can keep your hands down on the mat, or maybe to settle into this stretch, you push your hands into the knee, lift the chest a little bit, breathe deeply into the front of that left leg, a low lunge or a low runner's lunge. If there's any pain in that left knee, maybe that's where you put the blanket, soft padding under the knee. Next, exhale, we'll take our hips back towards the left heel, straighten into the right leg for half splits. When I get into half splits, I like to walk my right heel a little bit farther forward. It allows you to keep your hips stacked over that left knee. And then flex the left toes or the right toes towards the face. When you take an inhale, create length in the spine. And when you take an exhale, fold deeper your chest over that right leg. Breathing into the back of the right leg. Releasing your low back as well. All right, we'll bring our chest back forward. Coming into that low runner's lunge. Plant your hands firmly into the mat and shoot your right foot back to meet the left. Maybe take it through tabletop and we'll meet back in down dog. Shoot those hips high to the sky. Setting up for the left leg. So find that nice sturdy down dog position first. Strong through the shoulders. And then inhale, left leg goes high to the sky. Bend the left knee. You can drop the foot over to the right. Hang out here or flip the dog if that's in your practice today. Your left foot goes all the way down to the floor. Your left hand goes to the corner of the room. Press through the heels to keep the hips lifted. Ujjayi breathing to get you through this. All right, we return to three-legged down dog. Plus, press the left hand into the floor. Your left leg stays in the sky. Next, exhale, left knee, left elbow. Give it a little tap, some core work here. Inhale the left leg high to the sky. Exhale, knee comes to chest. Don't drop the foot, pull the knee as high as you can into the chest. Inhale the leg long. Third exhale, knee goes across the body to the right elbow. Give it a tap and then lift that knee even higher. Use your obliques. Inhale that leg long. All right, we made it to the fourth one. Bring that left foot to the front of the mat. You'll drop your back knee, low lunge. Let's settle in here. This time opening the front of that right leg. If you have a block or some prop to keep you lifted, I like to press it into my right hand. It's the same thing as pressing maybe your hand into that kneecap. Lifting the chest. It adds a little bit more of a stretch into that front of that leg. All right, next exhale sends your hips back towards the back of the mat, straighten into the left leg. Maybe you walk that heel a little bit farther forward, allowing you to get a nice deep stretch in the back of the left leg. Wherever you're at, inhale to lift the chest, find length. Exhale, forward fold over that left leg, half splits. Flex the toes back towards your face. Let your exhales to help you surrender into the stretch. Pull the belly button up into the spine. And then we come back forward to that low lunge. Plant the hands into the mat. We transition the left foot back to meet the right. We'll meet back in tabletop position, down dog position. You can take it through tabletop. And then we'll come up onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, gaze at the spot between your hands, walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. When we get there, have your feet about hips width distance. We're gonna take gorilla pose. So if you wanna take your hands under your feet, bring your toes to your wrist crease. If you don't like that, some people don't, you can just take your pointer and your middle finger, wrap it around your toes, Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, use the strength of your hands to pull yourself into this intense forward fold. Let the top of your head come towards the top of your feet. Release your low back, so pull your belly button up and in. Hollow out the belly. Allows for a deeper forward fold. Use the strength of your arms. One last pull with an exhale. And then release, and we'll very slowly reverse swan dive up to standing. Try and keep that spine straight. Really strong in the core still to support that spine. And then exhale, let the hands fall down by your side. We're back in mountain pose. We'll inhale, sweep the hands overhead. Fingertips can touch. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, follow your breath. Inhale, half lift, shine the heart forward. Exhale, plant the hands. You can take it through your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. Any way you want to get there. You can lower all the way to the belly, maybe taking 8-point pose. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. We'll take a quick breather here in child's pose, so lower those knees wide on your mat. Send your hips back towards your heels, walk the fingers forward, let your forehead rest on the mat. Maybe taking some open mouth exhales. If you feel like you're building internal heat, that's a perfect time to maybe let out a sigh. Inhaling through the nose and then exhaling. Release. All right, let's make our way back to down dog. Setting up for a little bit of a flow here. So find your nice sturdy down dog. Press your hands into the mat. Have your hands be about shoulder width distance. And then collectively, while we're all in down dog, let's do a little thing together. Let's come up onto our tippy toes. Bend the knees just a little bit. And then you're going to tuck your tailbone up towards the ceiling. And that might feel really weird, and it might also feel like a very, very tiny movement. But if you had like a tail, you'd be tucking your tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then notice where your low ribs popped out. So pop your low ribs back into your core, and now sink the hips to the mat. So you might feel a little bit of an elongation through the spine if your hips are probably a little bit more back towards the back of your mat. And then you're going to lift your left foot, bring it about an inch more to the center line of your mat. And inhale the right leg high to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, plant the foot, open up warrior two. So you'll cartwheel your hands all the way open. You're wide on your mat. Heel to heel alignment here. So if there's lines on the mat or on your floor, they want to be in the same line. Feel like you're pulling your inner thighs away from each other, trying to open up through the hips. And then engage your mula and uddiyana bandhas, so your belly and your pelvis area are pulling up and in to keep you really strong in the core. All right, from here we're going to exhale, extended side angle, left elbow, left kneecap, right hand reaches up and over. Or sorry, did I get those wrong? Right elbow, right kneecap, left hand reaches up and over. And then yogi's choice for extended side angle. You can take a bind if you're feeling open in the shoulders. Strong through those warrior two legs. Use your core. We're going to inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand goes down your left leg. Right hand goes high to the sky. Keep that deep end in the front knee. Don't lose it. And then we're going to inhale, bring those hands back to warrior two hands, straight into the front leg. Maybe hop your back foot in a little bit. We're setting up for a triangle pose. So shorter stance with triangle pose. You'll gaze over the right middle finger. Reach forward until you can't reach forward anymore. Revolve the hands for triangle pose. So you're pulling up from your inner thighs, keeping those hips nice and square. Left hand to the ceiling, and then maybe you try and lift your right hand off of the foot or wherever your right hand is to engage your obliques. Super challenging. All right, we're gonna revolve this triangle pose. So the left hand's gonna go all the way down to the floor on the inside of the right foot, and then your right hand's gonna sweep high to the sky. So you've taken your chest from facing one side of the room to the other side of the room. Revolve triangle. Breathe into the outer edge of that right leg. That IT band is being stretched. Beautiful job. And then from here, we take our balancing pose, revolved half moon. Your left hand's gonna plant on the floor in front of your right toes. Your right hand stays in the sky exactly where it is. Pick up your left heel, shoot it to the back of the room. Revolved half moon from revolved triangle. So you're picking up that left heel, shoot it towards the back of the room, strong through the right leg. Strong through the core, use your core to keep your chest lifted. Nice job, plant the right hand to the mat, bend the right knee, plant the hands into the mat, shoot your right foot back to meet the left, take it through vinyasa, and we'll meet in down dog. Always have option to skip vinyasa. Or take whatever variation your body's calling for. Maybe this is a time you let out that open mouth exhale. I promise I can't hear you. So let it be as loud as you want. We'll inhale, the left leg goes high to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, plant the foot on the front of the mat, open up, warrior two. Nice big cartwheel with the hands. Your gaze lands over your middle finger on the left hand. Bring that left knee out to the left a little bit. Make sure you can see your big toe. So you're super open in the hips. First exhale, extended side angle. Left elbow, left kneecap. Right hand reaches up and over. Yogi's choice. You might want to add a shoulder stretch here if you want to bind, or maybe dropping the hand to the floor. All right, nice, slow and controlled. You're going to use your core to lift you to reverse warrior. Left hand to the sky, right hand down the back leg, or right hand wraps around the low back. Either one. Deep bend in that front knee. Strong warrior two legs. All right, we cartwheel the hands back to warrior two, position with the hands. Walk the back foot in about a foot, setting up for our triangle sequence. Once you're straightening the legs, you'll gaze over that front hand, reaching forward until you're ready to revolve into triangle pose. Right hand high to the sky. Left fingertips might land on a block. Maybe on your shin, maybe on the mat. Use your bottom obliques, so those left side obliques, to keep your core lifted. Maybe try and lift those left fingers. All right, revolve triangle. Right hand is gonna go to the inside of that left foot. Your chest just went from facing the right side of the room all the way over to facing the left side of the room. Reach high to the sky with those left fingertips. Move slowly into it as we're kind of bringing out the spine here. And you might have to adjust your back foot. That's totally okay. Breathe into the outside of your left leg. Keep your balance. All right, drop the hand to the mat. When you're nice and stable through the shoulders, you'll send your left foot back to meet the right. Take it through vinyasa or meet me in down dog. Following your breath here. It's always going to be at your own pace. Nobody's doing your chaturanga for you. Nobody's doing your up dog for you. Just tune into your body. And then we're gonna pop our feet up to land on the outsides of our hands, coming into a yogi squat. So sink your hips down towards the mat. Let your feet kind of land wherever they naturally want to land. So some people might be up on their toes, just kind of depending on your bone structure and your hips. But wherever your feet land is kind of probably where they're going to be most comfortable. So we'll lengthen into the spine. You can press your knees out away from you using your elbows. Breathe into your hips. You're working on stretching your ankles right here, your hips, your low back. And then let's take the back of our palms and press them together. A counter pose for all the down dogs. Or if there's another wrist stretch you like, feel free. This one's my favorite. It's the only time our wrists bend this direction. All right, and then while we're down here, we're gonna take a little bit of a shoulder stretch. So I'm gonna grab a sock that's right in front of me and using my sock as my strap. What we're gonna be doing is wiggling our chest forward, wiggle that right shoulder over to in front of the right knee. Right hand goes out to the side and then your palm will go face up. Try and shoot your palm to your low back. Inhale, left hand sweeps high to the sky. Your left hand drops to your low back as well. Try and grab your two hands together. Yeah, so this is why maybe a sock or a shirt or maybe a towel from the kitchen or something might be helpful. Acting as a strap. Breathe into that front of that right shoulder that's opening up. Breathe into your hips. Gaze wherever's comfortable. And if this pose is not in your practice today, that's okay. There's other kinds of twists. Maybe you can just lift your left hand behind you, right hand in front of you. Or right hand down to the floor, left hand behind you. Try not resist the pose. Surrender into the stretch. And then we'll release out of the right side. Find a moment of symmetry and stillness in center. Notice that right shoulder probably opening up, some tingling. And then we'll move into the same thing on the other side. So first, I like to lean my chest forward and then shoot my left shoulder to the inside of my left knee. Left hand goes down and it's gonna want to end up palm face up, reaching towards my low back. The right hand is where you get a lot more movement. Reach the right hand up and over, reaching towards your low back. The first thing I would suggest if your hands are almost next to each other is maybe grab onto your shirt or your pants, whatever is accessible. Grab onto that shirt and then when you have grip, wiggle your fingers, inch them towards each other. Maybe you'll get that finger connection. If that's too much on the shoulders, maybe you can hang out in the yogi squat or right hand goes behind you, lift this time. Left hand in front of you for a little bit of a twist. All right, we'll release out of that left side. And then while we're down in this squatting position, we'll have a little bit of crow time practice. So crow pose, you're gonna place your knees on the back of your triceps or even lift your knees to up higher on your triceps, more towards your shoulders. To get into crow pose, we're gonna lift the hips, place the hands on the mat right under the shoulders, and then you're gonna glue your knees onto those triceps and begin to lower your chest forward until you feel the weight move from your hips more to your wrists. If you have crow pose, absolutely go for it. If you're still practicing, what I would recommend is lifting one foot off the mat at a time and not trying to go for both at the same time. If you lift your right toes off the mat and your right knee slips off to the side, then maybe you need to come back and find a better place to shelf that knee. Maybe you lift it a little higher. You find a new spot on the tricep that allows you to have a nice shelf. A little bit of playtime. Nice, I can see a lot of crow. It looks really good. It's kind of funny because it's so quiet on my end. I can't hear too much feedback. People are falling out of it, cursing, whatnot. All right, awesome job. Let's make our way through tabletop back to down dog. Slowing down our practice. Take any stretches you need in down dog. Maybe walk the feet a couple more times. Breathe into the back of the legs. And then we're going to come into pigeon pose right side. So you can inhale the right leg high to the sky. And then bring the knee to behind the wrist, the right wrist. Wiggle that right shin towards the front of the mat. Wiggle your left leg back down your mat. Let the left leg be straight. First, we'll walk our hands towards the body. Breathe into a nice long spine. Breathe into that front of that left hip flexor that's being forced to open. And then exhale, settle the chest down towards your mat for pigeon pose. Yogi's choice, you've seen thread the needle today. So if you want to take the left hand over to the right side, sometimes thread the needle is accessible from pigeon pose to add a little bit of a spinal twist, but that's totally optional. Breathe into your glute here. That's the biggest stretch of this pigeon pose. And then let gravity do the work. Let gravity settle you into your mat. Release all the tension out of that hip. Release the tension anywhere else on your body that you're holding it. Soften through your face. Soften in the eyes. Soften the lips and the jaw. All right, slowly press your hands in the mat to lift the chest. We're gonna roll onto the right hip. So you're rolling over onto the right hip to allow you to swing the left foot all the way around to the front of your mat, landing in fire log pose. So left knee stacks over right ankle, left ankle stacks over right knee. So this is full expression of pigeon. And to settle into this pose, it might seem like your left knee is really high off of that right foot. So maybe you grab that prop, blanket, pillow, whatever you have, and place it under that, between that space to help keep it propped a little bit up so you're not in pain in this stretch. And then I like to press my hands into the mat, lift the sit bones, let them land evenly down on the mat. If this is totally comfortable for you and you're ready to take it further, you would walk your hands in front of you, hinge out the hips a little bit. Keep walking the hands forward as much as you want. And then you should feel a nice stretch on the left glute and the right glute, both of your hips at the same time. Lots of hip openers today. All right, very slowly we'll wiggle out of that. You're gonna have to roll over those knees, making your way back to down dog so we can get into the same pose other side. Lift those hips high to the sky, and whenever you're ready, feel free to take a breath here in down dog. We'll all be in that pigeon pose. So bring that left knee to the back of the left wrist. Right leg goes long. Before you settle down into pigeon pose, walk your hands towards your body. Breathe nice and tall into your spine, lifting the chest. And then surrender. Let the forearms come down to the mat. Maybe you want to rest the head on the mat. Maybe you want to take a thread the needle. This time the right arm would go over to the left. All right, slowly we'll push our hands into the mat. Sink the hips over to the left, and then you're gonna swing that right leg all the way in front of you until it lands in fire log pose. Same thing, other side. So get into the pose nice and slow, no need to rush it. Really feel your hips out. And then again, once I get into this pose, I like to press my hands into the mat, lift the hips. Let the sit bones meet the mat again. Usually my weight is more evenly distributed. You can hinge at the hips, begin to walk the hands forward if that's in your practice today. Otherwise, just sitting tall, breathing into fire log pose. Maybe even you have that block in front of you, kind of helping you keep the chest lifted. All right, slowly lift out of that. We'll bring our legs out in front of us, press the feet into the mat, windshield wiper those legs side to side. Feel the sensation in the hips as they're releasing. And then we'll make our way onto our mats on our bellies. We're gonna do one stretch on our stomachs before we roll onto our backs. So when you get onto your belly, we're gonna take a shoulder stretch. So we'll bring our right arm out to the side, perpendicular from the mat, and then we're gonna roll over this right arm. You can use your left hand to press into the mat to keep pushing you to roll over the right shoulder. Let your head come to the mat wherever is comfortable. You just don't have to hold the head up if that's straining your neck at all. Maybe even that block comes to, or that pillow under your head. Try and settle into the stretch, feeling your chest open, the front of your shoulder open. You might feel it run all the way through your bicep, all the way to your wrist as well. Super big arm opener. All right, we'll slowly come through center. Bring your right hand to about right under your right shoulder. Find a moment of stillness. And then take the same pose other side. The left hand goes out to the left, reaching perpendicular away from your body. Begin to roll onto the left hip. Right hip will stack on top of the left. Yogi's choice for those legs. So that top leg, your right leg, might be long on top of the left leg, or I like to bend my right knee, press my foot into the mat behind the left leg. It helps keep me propped up. Breathe into the other side of the chest where your heart space is. Maybe connecting to your heart. body-mind connection. All right, very slowly bring that left hand back in, and then however is easiest for you, we'll meet lying on our backs. So flipping this position. Come onto your back and then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Wrap those forearms around the shins. And then maybe you gently rock side to side. We'll take that into a happy baby. Bending both knees towards the outer edges of your mat. Grab the outsides or the insides of your feet. Just imagine that you're that happy baby. They don't really have any rules. They can grab their feet or their toes wherever they want. You can kick into one leg at a time. You can rock side to side. Or you can practice a real stretch of happy baby would be pulling your arms really, or using your arm strength to really pull your knees all the way, trying to touch the mat on either side of your body. Try to keep your low spine from lifting. So try and keep your hips from lifting. That does tend to happen. And then also tuck your chin down towards the chest a little bit. Staying super long through the spine, super long through the neck. All right, from here we'll take a supine twist, so bring those knees back to the chest and then drop them over to the right. Back towards the center of the mat, allowing you to stack the left hip directly on top of your right hip. Supine twist, wiggle those shoulder blades up the mat to create length in the spine, and then let your head fall over to the left. Let your gaze go over the left shoulder. Maybe you have a cactus arms. A full spinal twist. Gently bring those knees back to center, moving at your own pace. No rush. Find a moment of stillness in center before you drop your knees over to the left. Supine twist other side. Once my legs drop over to the left, I like to press my feet into the mat, especially my right foot into the mat. Lift my hips back towards the center. Right hip stacks directly on top of the left hip. Maybe your left hand comes to your right thigh to help keep that right thigh down over to the left. Gaze goes right. All right, yogis, we're coming to the end of our practice, so I'll give you a minute here to take any last stretches that are calling your name right now. Setting up your body for its final pose of class, which is Shavasana. So take any last stretches. Really tune into your body. Just a few minutes left together in class, but we will end with the Shavasana. So when you're ready, let those legs go long on your mat, let the toes roll out to the side. Nice and long through the spine. Find the shoulder blades underneath you, nice and comfortable. And then hands can be down by your side, or left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly, on the solar plexus. Settle down one last time, collecting all your energy. Not attaching to any thoughts. Welcome to Shavasana. Invite some movement back into the body by first wiggling your little fingers and toes, starting small, and then maybe rocking the head side to side. Once you begin to breathe some life back into the body, you can sweep the hands overhead, taking a nice big stretch, like it's the first stretch of the day. And then use your arm as a pillow, roll over onto your favorite side. It could be either side. In this space, recognizing this peace that you've cultivated, knowing that you can return to it at any time of the day, on or off your mat. Press your hand into the mat and lift up to a comfortable seated position. We'll end class with our thumbs at our heart space. So first find that comfortable seated position. Let the palms lie facing up on your knees. We'll inhale, sweep the hands overhead one last time together, collecting your energy. See if you can feel it between the palms. And then exhale, release the thumbs down to your third eye, your forehead. Press the thumbs to your forehead, the forehead back into your thumbs. Thank you for joining me on your mat this evening. Thank you for letting me teach you yoga in Rochelle's place. I look forward to more yoga with you all. Namaste. Oh, thank you guys so much.